the people of Tesbih. You know the Tesbih? Tesbih is the beats. Okay, they are the people just pray, and they don't know what's going on in their street. Their neighbor is suffering the hunger, and the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, "You will not from us if you sleep full and your neighbor is hungry." And even if he is like that, they don't care. They only care is they are making lots of remembrance like La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. They are in the other world. They don't know what's going on in Palestine. They don't know what's going on in Kashmir, something like that. So this is a kind of another extremism. So the best way is, of course, you are going to be all these kind of things. You will be, you will have knowledge what is going on in the world. So you will be interested with politics. But on the other hand, you will not neglect your ibadah, your prayers, your fasting, and on the other hand, you are going to be a kind of philosopher. You are going to be intellectual. You are going to know also the Western ideologies and the Eastern ideologies. You are going to know who is Ibn Sina, Ibn Rushd, Farabi, and you will also know the Aristotle and Plato. And you also, but this doesn't mean that you are okay. I'm okay with knowledge, but also with practice and this kind of thing. So the victim of the book, victim of the weapon, and the victim of the beat. So this is we should have all three together. We should. This is a kind of a balance. Yes. Anything else, sisters? You have always some interpretation this time that.
Maybe I'll just add that, especially in this society where we live, moderation is very important because, like, all of us come from different countries and different cultures, and we come here as like totally different society. So it's very important to have a balance between your values and your morals, and as well as assimilating in this society, and so that we can walk like shoulder to shoulder with the people here too, and we're just not excluded from this society. And since we're not in our country, so we won't be anywhere if we just completely try to turn ourselves westernized, or if we keep just to keep ourselves within our culture. So we have to have a moderation in that too, just so we can survive in a society.
Yeah. As Aliya Izzat-Begum is saying, Islam is not the Eastern religion. Most of the people perceive that this is a religion of Arabs. 18% of the Muslim population are Arab. 82% of the Muslim population are non-Arab. So Islam is not the Arabic religion. So we have to balance the culture and the universalism, of course. This Islam is a universal message. We will, of course, preserve our identity. If you are coming from the Arabic country or Turkey or Europe or what, you will preserve your identity. But this doesn't mean that if you are in America, for example, we have to also balance that cultural realities and the Islamic realities. Islam is something, a universal message. If some people try to inject or impose or make propaganda about their cultural identity, I don't want to see the American people like the Turkish people. I'm from Turkey, but I mean, in Turkey, their understanding can be different. But the reality is in the United States is something different. So people in the United States, American Muslims, we have to educate them. We have to create an American Muslims, because this geography, this culture is something different. And these people, the American Muslims, whenever they write Islamic poets, so this means Islam is also, of course, Islam has a long story in the United States. This is not just a couple of years. I mean, there are some archaeological proofs that the Muslims are here for hundreds and hundreds of years. So that's why we should, but there is nothing, the Muslim, Islamic institutions are not enough in the United States, although Muslims are very crowded in the United States, but we are not very professional because we are just dealing with our, for example, country people. Pakistani people are dealing with the Pakistanis, Turkish people are Turkish, and Malaysian people are Malaysian. So there is also a balance in the Ummah is a colorful, Islamic nation is the colorful nation. Islam is not just the Turkish people or Arab people, so we should come here together. So this is very beautiful, for example, and every country, from Iran, from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkey, and different brothers and sisters are here. So it should be enlarged more. This is also a kind of balance, actually. Sister is right. Anything else?
I would like to, like, since we mentioned of assimilation, I would like to make a point. Like Dr. Farooq Fauzi, the first MSA president, he came here last year. So he made a very important point. He said, you mix but not melt. So you mix with the other people also, not only from your region, not only from your religion, but don't melt. Retain your identity. So I think that's a very good moderation. Like you're not completely restricting yourself to your people, and you're not completely losing your identity and mixing in that, in becoming those persons. But you mix with them, you talk to them, you play with them, you study with them, but you retain your Muslim identity.
Right. Dialogue is between two parts. Dialogue, because D is two. If you are going to melt, so there is no dialogue. It's going to be monologue. So you lose your identity. If you are speaking about, for example, interfaith dialogue, I am going to speak, and I'm going to be very strong in my beliefs, and he or she is going to be strong in her beliefs or in his beliefs, and we are going to make conversation together. But I'm not very strong in my identity, so this is not going to be. So you are going to be mad on that. So this shouldn't be like that. This is against also the interfaith dialogue understanding. If he is speaking about Christianity, and you are going to listen, and you are going to learn something, of course, and we respect, because we are living in a common society, and we should respect. And we should know who are the Christians. And the Christians should know who are the Muslims, because every 4 people in the world are Muslim. And this is the reality. This doesn't mean that they don't have to be Muslim in order to listen. And you don't have to be Christian in order to learn what Christian is about. So you are not going to be melt, as Dr. Febs mentioned. You are going to mix. You are going to, because this society is our society.